Welcome back, everyone. I think it was probably, well, it was last fall, so it had to be October or November. And my good friend here, Jonathan Newell, and I were talking. He was telling me about this great project that they had going on in Hudson Falls, the Strand Theater, and the renovation of it and turning it back into what it was originally intended to be, which is a performance center. And I just thought it was the coolest project. Talk about grassroots. Talk about a barn-raising project. Talk about for the love of the community, you know. So I asked John to come in so that we could get an update on what's going on. That's a very cool project.
Great,
you know.
great.
So why are you doing this?
Why not? You know, what else have I got to do up there? No, there's a lot to do. But it's really exciting. It was a discovery for me. I had no idea that the building even existed. I'd heard about it. And we were beginning the Hudson River Music Hall at the time. We were maybe a year and a half old. And I went in to buy my trash tickets at the town hall. Mm-hmm. And I said to the town clerk, I hear there used to be a theater in Hudson Falls. She said, yeah, you're standing in it. I'm like, what do you mean I'm standing in it? So she said, follow me. And she took me up this staircase, and then I'm standing in the balcony of this historic theater. And I said, why didn't you tell me this, you know, a year and a half ago? So ever since that time, we've set out to try to recapture this place. Mm-hmm. And it's been an interesting challenge trying to get a municipality to find a new location to do their business. But they were all supportive right from the start. Everyone was very supportive from the start. So 4.5 years later, we're maybe a month or two out from taking this back for the town, for the community.
I can't believe that. You know, we have been following the story of the town moving and building that new municipal center. And just to find out that right in the heart of Hudson Falls, there was this absolutely wonderful performance space.
Yeah, amazing.
Strand Theater, right?
Amazing.
You know, a lot of Strand Theaters around the country.
Right,
the
right.
name is kind of a popular name.
Yes.
Now, I guess you're ready to start. So you're going to head towards phase one, which, as I recall from the plans you showed me, you were trying to get phase one going by September, right?
We're hoping to be open by this September. We were hoping to be in there by last September, actually. Mm-hmm. But a lot of things have happened, but now we're close. And so phase one, what the town did, just to recap the story a little bit, is they buried the seats in sand, 600 truckloads of sand, put a 4-inch concrete cap, and then built offices within the theater. So really, they've preserved it for the past 50 years. Mm-hmm. So our plan is to go in phase one as a community, as much grassroots volunteer labor as we can, and just pull the offices out, and then reveal the historic character and nature of the building and the theater, and build a stage, bring in some lights and sound and curtains, and put some shows on. We want to do that as soon as we possibly can.
And somebody's going to get the biggest sandbox in the world, I think, right?
Yeah, well, as soon as we take off that 4-inch concrete cap, which will be a few years from now probably, we're going to have a volleyball tournament.
Okay.
A Beach Boys tribute band and a volleyball tournament. So we're looking forward to that.
That's fantastic. Couple of things you've got to get through, right?
Yes.
We got a planning board meeting coming up.
Yeah, we'll try to get in there for June. We never knew when the town would actually move out, so now that they've actually moved out, we're ready to go before the planning board, and we have to raise a little bit more money too. We had a $100,000 grant given to us almost 2 years ago by the Sandy Hill Foundation. So it's been this long waiting game, but with that money, we've hired great architects from New York City, Holtzman, Moss, and Bettino, who just do theaters all across the country, nationally recognized American architects. So great expertise. We've had our environmental studies done, our engineering studies done, so we've spent much of that money. So we just got our loan approved by the Community Loan Fund in Albany. I love the name of that organization too, Community Loan Fund. And that's for $140,000. Now the cost of the building is $175,000. So we need to raise $35,000 for the down payment. Actually, we have much of that money. We need an additional money for operating expenses. So what we're really trying to raise is $25,000 to just get us over that hump. We'll get through the purchase okay, but we need the operating funds.
Well, you know, considering, and we've been following this project, really, I think it's probably last October when I first looked at the plans and whatever. But the environmental work is done. A lot of the site work was done, and the studies were done, the engineering studies. Even a parking study was done. Yeah. So, you know, to help this organization raised this last $25,000 is not that much money, and you're going to go before the planning board, so you're ready to open those doors, get the volunteers in, and start turning this theater back.
And that would be so
what
much
a real
fun.
asset to downtown Hudson Falls, John. I mean, let's face it.
Right, and also to the whole region, I think, because it's a very unique space, and it's great to bring people up to that entire North Country region, and to Saratoga, to Glens Falls, to Lake George. It's such a great area. So we feel part of that much larger community of art lovers too, and music lovers.
Well, you know, you always strike me. You know, John, by the way, you probably already know, is an incredibly accomplished composer and musician. And if Across the Pond means anything to you, that's the best Beatles tribute band you're going to hear. Period. But we've got the Prague Trio, right? Because John and the Prague Trio were just featured on our music show, Tracks, and we tape Tracks at the Hudson River Music Hall. So, you know, I just know a lot about what John is doing, and this project is such an undertaking. I really got to hand it to you and everybody that's involved. What visionaries, you know?
Well, and who knows how you get placed into these things, right?
Yeah.
You just start on it, and then it's a path you can't veer off of. For one thing, it's too much fun. We're meeting so many people and hearing such great music. And it's right in our backyards. So we didn't have to travel to do this. It's right down the street from where I live. I live in Hudson Falls. So I can walk to this project. I can walk to the music hall and hear great music and see wonderful art by local artists and hear a play and a play that's in development by a local playwright. I mean, it's such a great opportunity. So for that reason, you know, people keep saying, thank you for the work you're doing, but I think to myself, are you kidding me? I would do this if I could do this. I mean, so and the opportunity's here. So.
Well, it's also a lot of organizational work too. You know, let's face it. So again, you know, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to help in two ways. You can go to the website, which is hudsonrivermusichall.org, right?
Yes.
hudsonrivermusichall.org, and you just follow right there. You can make a cash donation. How about a donation in kind? Volunteer your services. They're going to need to be able to get in this theater and undo a lot of this office space to try to turn it back into the theater. But I think the most important thing is they've got a small nut to raise. They've got $25,000 to raise. You've got a concert coming up.
There's a concert
fundraiser
featuring Across the Pond.
Right, got it.
That's at a place called the Little Theater on the Farm.
Oh, the barn out in Hudson.
A barn in Fort Edward. If you've never been out there, it's a beautiful property. Such a unique space to hear music in. So that's on June 4th. We have a British Music Invasion Festival that's sponsored by the town of Lake George. That's in August 13th and 14th. And those funds will go right towards the Strand Theater. So that's part of our operating expenses of getting going.
Got you. And if, you know, my advice is don't wait until August. You know, try to help them now, because the sooner they raise the $25,000, the sooner then all the triggers can be pulled for the funds coming from Community Loan Fund and really get in there.
And we have bookings already set up for September and October for the Strand Theater. So
I love it.
We need to get this happening soon.
John, hats off to you as always. And you know what? We didn't even talk about the Beatles. This is a very interesting interview.
Do we still have time?
No, we're out of time, and I want to concentrate on the Strand because I really want to get this off the ground.
Great.
But John, thank you very much for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank
you.
And
we're going to be following this any number of times over the summer. We're going to take cameras, go into the theater, give you a tour, show you around and whatever, and let's make this a reality, this Strand Theater. So thanks a lot, John. Great to see you as always.
Thanks for your help.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.